WJR.
I don't know. What do you think? Is it possible nowadays to discuss one of the most controversial and debated issues of our times in a civil way? Can we look at the issue of abortion and whether or not it's a constitutional right in an objective fashion and give an ear to the opposition? Well, Oakland University is hoping so, Kevin, and the school is at least going to give it a go tomorrow night with a sort of Lincoln-Douglas style of debate on the issue.
Yeah, Tom, I signed up for this event as soon as I read about it. Why? Not so much because Roe v. Wade and the Dobbs decision are among the biggest by the Supreme Court in our lifetime, which they are, but because it promises to foster respectful dialogue on a polarizing topic. I've been looking for information without exaggeration on this issue, and I think this event is likely to deliver. Joining us now is Dave Dulio, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, and Alexandra DeSanctis, a staff writer for National Review. Dave, let's start with you. How do you pull off a respectful conversation on such a polarizing topic?
Well, Kevin, thanks for having us. And, that's a great question. And for me, it goes right to the people that you invite to have that conversation. And what we've got with Alexandra DeSanctis and Jill Filipovic are two experts, two passionate people about this topic, but who respect each other as colleagues, even though they differ vehemently on the issue, but they come to it honestly. They come to it with respect for the other side, and they have these conversations. They can have these conversations in that respectful, civil manner that you're looking for.
Alexandra, how confused do you think voters are on the details and the truth about this proposal? Can they rely just on commercials?
Yeah, so I know in Michigan right now there's this very radical abortion amendment being considered to the Constitution, and unfortunately I think it's being pitched by supporters as, just putting in place a status quo in Michigan or some kind of reasonable abortion medium. But in fact, if you read the language of the proposition, not all of which is going to appear on the ballot, unfortunately, you'll see that it's actually quite radical. It establishes a fundamental right to abortion, to anything having to do with reproductive freedom, in fact, and so this could lead to anything. The state will not be able to, for example, have requirements that parents give consent or even be notified before a young girl seeks an abortion, just to mention one thing.
Yeah, Alexandra, I think the goal of this particular event is not to change anyone's mind in one way or another, just to provide information out there. But do you think, based on your argumentation, your information tomorrow night, that you're going to push for that? You're going to push to change someone's mind, and then you're going to sit there and listen to the other side of this. Do you think minds will be changed as a result of tomorrow night?
I certainly think it's a possibility, and like Dave said, it's not the aim. We're hoping, of course, to just present accurate information. But what I've done my whole career on this issue is present factual, truthful information in the hopes of enlightening people, right? And on this particular issue on abortion, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of inaccurate and false argumentation, unfortunately, dishonest argumentation. And so my hope, and what I've done with my recent book with Ryan Anderson, my hope with this debate is presenting just factual, clear information will change hearts and minds, right? If people realize what abortion is, I think they'll start to see it's not good either for unborn children, of course, or for women.
Yeah, Dave, the premise of your event tomorrow is based on what Abraham Lincoln, a Republican candidate for Senate at the time, and then Stephen Douglas, who was the incumbent Democrat, what they did way back in 1858. They debated 7 times so people can really make a well-informed decision on who would be a better candidate. And they were discussing a pretty heated topic. It was slavery. So if they could discuss that well, certainly we can discuss abortion well also, don't you think?
Well, I don't think there's any question about that, Tom. And again, with folks like Alexandra and Jill, that's what folks are going to get. And I think it's important that this tomorrow night is not going to be the kind of debate that we normally think of in today's political context, right, where it's all sound bites. In fact, the great thing about that Lincoln-Douglas style is something I hope we can get back to more of in this country, which is longer discussion that isn't just 8-second sound bites, right? So what we're going to do is have Jill lead off. She'll talk for 15 minutes. Alexandra is going to come back with 20 minutes of discussion, and then Jill again for 5, so that there's for a rebuttal. But right, it's not just in that 1 or 2 minute time frame that we see maybe candidates debate these days. This allows for deeper discussion, more reasoned discussion, and as Alexandra said, get factual and good information out there to the public.
Alexandra, in my Church Weekly, the Michigan Catholic Conference had a line-by-line analysis of the proposal, and I like that because it kind of helps me break down each line. One area of confusion I have is over the mental health professionals. They say, look, people are very concerned about abortions in the second trimester, and especially in the third trimester, and they say with this proposal that late-term abortions would not happen unless this mental health professional deemed it in the danger of the woman's life or her mental well-being, et cetera, et cetera. Is there any reason to think that mental health professionals will not do their job, not follow their oath, not look out for everybody's well-being in these situations?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing here with this proposed amendment is exactly what we saw in 1973 with Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton, right? The Supreme Court said states can protect the lives of unborn children, but in Doe v. Bolton, the Supreme Court added on, as long as they have an exception for maternal mental health, for health, including things such as psychological, financial, familial. And this is, unfortunately, a loophole wide enough to drive a semi-truck through, right? The idea that a woman could need an abortion at 8 months into pregnancy because she has some kind of mental health complication. There's never a mental health reason why you need to directly kill a viable unborn child. Of course, if a woman's worried or whatever it might be a very serious concern, but it doesn't require abortion. And unfortunately, this proposed amendment has this loophole in there that would essentially allow any professional, including the abortionist, to say a woman's mental health requires this abortion, and there's no verification of that. There's no follow-up. It's just the abortionist's decision and the woman's decision. That's a massive loophole.
Hey, Dave, I want to ask you one final question here about the importance of debate, because we have 2 major Democratic candidates who are refusing to debate. Jocelyn Benson and Dana Nessel will not debate their respective opponents, the Republicans on the ticket. Does that rob voters of making a well-informed decision, do you think?
Well, Tom, I think what it does is allow the candidates to control all of the messaging, right? When 2 candidates get on stage next to each other, there's no filter, right? It is pure information straight from the horse's mouth, if you will, right? And in a lack of that, all we have left are TV commercials or mailers or maybe other curated and controlled environments, right? Which doesn't, I don't think, allow the public to get the depth of information that we're looking for as we head into Election Day.
How do people get involved with this event that you're having tomorrow night?
Thanks, Kevin. Right, they can get all the information they need on how to register. We're going to do it via Zoom. Alexandra and Jill will stream in from various parts of the country, but at oakland.edu/CCE, they'll get all the information they need.
Oakland.edu is tomorrow night, October 11th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. We appreciate it. It's such a great event. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Have a great day. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR.